What's up, yes? Teddy Striker here. And after UFC 294, Robert Whittaker went on his podcast. I think it's called the MMA Arcade, where he talked about like Hamza versus Usman. And he actually showed some interest in fighting Kamaru Usman at middleweight, even though we weren't really sure what Usman wanted to do. But Usman did call out Turkish Duplessis for UFC 300, but now that can't happen because Cherkis is fighting Sean Strickland. But it does seem like Usman's kind of wanting to stay at middleweight. It's a bit unsure. Like we don't know if he wants to stay or if he wants to go down. But Robert Whittaker, I believe he's the number 3 contender right now, because AZ's number 1 contender, Cherkis is number 2, and I think Rob is number 3. So the number 3 guy wants to call you out. Robert Whittaker, arguably he could be 1 or 2 more wins away from getting another title shot. There is Jared Cannonier that could be above him, but a fight that he could take to get him back in those title talks is potentially a fight with Kamaru Usman. This could be a favor also the UFC is doing for Kamaru, because he stepped up on short notice and took a fight against Hamzat. And that doing a favor like that to the UFC is always gonna take you far. And I actually don't mind this matchup too much for Usman. Whittaker is obviously very, very good. Like, he's a top middleweight. He used to be a welterweight, and he's very versatile. He can kick, he can punch, he can take you down. He's got great jiu-jitsu. He's got it all, pretty much. And this would be a tough matchup for Usman. But Usman he is pretty well-rounded. He can box pretty well. He can grapple, obviously. But the thing with Usman is his knees are really shot. And with Whittaker, when he fights, he likes to do that, stomp to the knee, the oblique kick. And he's very sneaky with that and very, very powerful. Like, it really messes up the opponent's momentum. So, stylistically, Usman's gonna have to do a lot of work. Right now, I'm leaning towards Robert Whittaker because Whittaker's a lot more settled in this weight class. He's not making 170 anytime soon. Usman, he can make 170 pounds pretty easily. Or maybe not pretty easily, but he can still do it. Like if he had a training camp or maybe on short notice he could, but it would be tough. But Whittaker's not making 170 pounds anytime soon. So Whittaker's going to have the size advantage for sure. The speed advantage, it could be actually pretty close, because Whittaker is pretty fast for a middleweight, but Usman's he's still like a welterweight. Like, he still has that speed and everything, and it's going to be interesting, how Usman's chin holds up. Like, he was taking some shots from Khamzat, who Khamzat did display one-punch knockout power at middleweight in the past against GM3, and even in some of his fights outside of the UFC, like his fight versus Ikram Aliskerov, he knocked him out with one punch, and he was hitting Usman with some big shots, but Usman was still taking it. And Whittaker does hit hard. Like, I know he doesn't put many people away, but he's very explosive and very fast, which equal power. And he could put Usman down in this fight, and he's also got that 1-2 head kick combination. And Usman likes to go to the southpaw stance. But another thing that Usman could have going for him is he's got an incredible jab. And Jared Cannonier, when he fought Whittaker, he went southpaw. And he was clipping Whittaker and hurting Whittaker with that southpaw jab a lot. And Drake Duplessis finished Whittaker with that southpaw jab. And Whittaker just recently got KO'd. And that could be, maybe that could damage his chin a bit. So Usman doesn't have to hit as hard, because Whittaker's chin is slightly going down. But that southpaw jab, Usman was dropping Gilbert Burns with that jab, and he was doing a lot of damage with it. So I would say, use the southpaw stance, use that jab, but watch out for the 1-2 head kick. Don't stay in there too long. Land your shots and then go back in the orthodox stance. But Whittaker is going to go for that knee. He's going to attack that knee, stop that knee. It's actually a pretty interesting matchup, and Usman's got a great jab, like hardly any telegraph, and that speed could give Whittaker some problems, because Whittaker kind of has a leans forward. He's kind of got a hunch up stance. His hands are low, so Usman could catch him with that jab. It's gonna be interesting to see. But at the same time, Whittaker has got a pretty good jab. But Usman is like his defense is probably gonna be on point. He doesn't get hit clean too often. He takes some big shots here and there, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a very interesting matchup. And Usman has the reach advantage, which Cannonier gave him some problems with that. Tricky Duplessis gave him some problems with the reach, and of course Adesanya did as well. So the more I think about this fight, I think it's gonna be a lot more competitive, but I think it needs to be a 5-round fight. Great fight for both, and winner potentially gets a title shot.